Hey, what's up guys, it's Eric with Painting Business Pro, and in this video we're going to talk about the importance of focus and staying in your lane in order to build your business. So what I like to do is help people build a great business, and I want to help you do that the fastest, most efficient, most successful way. And while I've made a lot of videos about this in the past and talked about this in the past, I just see it happening so much all over the place that I felt compelled to make another video about it, because it's just so hard to resist the temptation and the urge to chase shiny objects that are really slowing you down. Even though it's like, man, this is a huge opportunity, I'm gonna make so much money on this opportunity, it's actually slowing you down in the big picture. And so this is my attempt to talk you into doing this, building your business thing in a different way. All right, so the first thing we need to address is shiny objects and opportunities. All right, so there's tons of shiny objects and opportunities, and I see people chasing them every day. It's crazy. So the first shiny object, and this is hopefully not a lot of people are doing this, but chasing other trades. So, you know, this would be a huge mistake in building your business, is you're doing painting and a customer says, hey, do you do windows or know anyone who does windows? And you do another estimate and they say, hey, know anyone who does windows? And once 3 people say it, you're like, hey, you know, I've learned from Eric how to subcontract. Maybe I could just sell the window too, and I can get a window subcontractor to do that, and I can make an extra $3,000 on every project. It sounds like it really makes sense to do that. This video is going to be about why it doesn't make sense to do that. All right. The next thing is adding even adding additional services, like expanding your scope of your painting services. So, you know, in the first 2 to 3 years of my painting company, I was like, I only do exterior residential repaints that were built after 1978. I don't touch lead, I don't do popcorn removal, I don't do wallpaper removal, I don't do drywall, I don't do carpentry, I don't do interior. I stay in my lane really tight. Now, as our company's grown, we've started to do interior. We still don't do popcorn removal, wallpaper removal, carpentry, lead. We just don't touch them. We stay really narrow with our services. We also don't do cabinets. You know, going and adding cabinets would be adding an additional service. Adding drywall, adding carpentry. These will all be additional services. Now, depending on your market, some markets you need to be able to do that. All right, like if you're in a market that's just like 90% of jobs that have carpentry, it might make sense to include that. Okay, but you just want to be careful, and this will make sense by the end of the video, but just know that, hey, this might not be the right thing to do first. Industrial opportunity. This was one of my members. I'm not going to call him out, but maybe he's watching this video and you know who I'm talking about. And look, maybe the opportunity will turn out and he'll do really well with this opportunity. You know, whereas opportunity to paint all this piping, it's industrial painting. He can probably find the resources to do it well. He can probably find contracts to protect himself. And you know, if it's 100 of these projects, he's gonna make $2,000 per. It's like, cool, it's 200,000. That's great. I'm gonna show you in this video why that's maybe gonna slow you down to getting to your ultimate goal, which is worth more than any money on one-off projects. Unless you're gonna actually go all in on that opportunity, you're gonna go all in on that other trade, like no more painting. The other is commercial opportunities. Unless you're prepared to like, hey, I'm gonna start going into commercial, you got to be careful not to go into this. There's a certain order to do this in, okay? So that's what we mean by shiny objects. You got to avoid them. That's what we mean by focus, and understand the steps to do things. So let's look at this from another perspective. What's the goal of your business? Why did you start a business? I've been asking people this question all year long, and the answer is always the same. The goal of starting my business is for freedom. I say, hey, everyone on the webinar, what's the reason you started the business? You can only say one word. There's really 2 words that people say: money, freedom. You know, they might call it independence, they might call it wealth, but everyone's saying, hey, I want to make more money and I want to be free. And that's, hey, speaking my language, that's what I'm all about. So that's the goal of the business. The whole goal of the business, no one said because I want to own my job. All right, so how do you have that goal, like where you're making a lot of money and you've got freedom? Well, you have to either have a really, really small business that you can do 15 hours a week, where you're doing the marketing, you're doing the sales, you're managing the projects, you're overseeing the business, and you do it 15 to 20 hours a week. That will give you freedom, but it's hard to make a lot of money and do it yourself. So the only other option is you got to build a team. If you want to make a lot of money and have freedom, you need a team. You need to have an estimator, sales rep, and project manager, or at least one of them. And so you've got to have a team, right? So to get to the goal we have for the business, we need to have a team. Now, in order to, building a team is not easy. All right, I've built teams. I've failed building teams for a long time. I've seen other people fail building teams. It's really hard to build teams. You know, it's hard to hire the right person. It's hard to know how well you need to train them. It's hard to develop and manage those people. It's hard to keep people around. All right, and the key, what's fundamental and necessary to building a team is systems. See, when you hire somebody, they need to be, let's go on a quick little tangent on team building. If you want to hire great people, you need to pay good money. But in order to pay good money, you need them to perform and make you good money. And in order for them to perform, you need to have good systems for them to perform. If you don't have good systems for people to perform well, you can't justify paying them well. And if you can't pay well, you can't hire great people. So your systems are foundational to hiring great people and building a great team. And when you start adding all these services before you've started to build a team, these systems get really complex, right? Like if you're, we'll take an extreme example to make the point. If you're a painting contractor and then you're like, hey, sometimes we'll do a remodel job, and sometimes I'll do, because I talk to people who do this, sometimes I'll do remodel jobs, sometimes I'll do painting, and then sometimes we'll do drywall. I'm like, okay, cool. So the way you build a team is once your schedule is full, like you're like, hey, I can't grow this business without hiring someone. That's when you hire someone. But when you're doing 3 different trades, the person you hire, now they have to understand 3 different trades. And you can't just hire that person, you train them. So now you need systems for 3 different trades. So the more complex you make your business before you build a team, the more complex it is the harder it is for the person you hire. It's just harder to perform in that role. It's also a lot more time to build those systems. Instead of building a system for just painting, now I've got to build one for painting and for remodeling and for drywall. Like they need to understand if it's a project manager, they got to understand a lot of different nuances. Look, I can tell you from running just a residential painting company, it is hard to get that right for one trade in just residential painting, and we don't do wallpaper removal and popcorn removal and lead paint and cabinets, and it's a lot of work to get that really, really good. Okay, so the wider you go before you hire someone, the harder it's going to be to hire someone who's successful. And the longer that takes, the longer it takes for you to reach your goal. So what I'm proposing is instead of making your business complex and then hiring a team, if you can have the discipline to say no to opportunities, to say no to making your business more complex, and you can have the discipline to, I'm going to keep this simple. First, I'm going to build the team. And once I have a team in place, then I'll start to make it more complex. What you do then is you're like, hey, once you got your team running the simple business, great. You want to go and start doing industrial painting? Great. Build the system for it and then add a team member to it and train them. And then you want to add another service? Great. Build the system, then add the team member, then train them. And that's the process. I'm not saying don't ever do these things. I'm saying if you want to do them in the right order by building that team. Then you got to build the system, hire and train the team. Then build the system, hire and train the team. Not chase money and chase shiny objects. Now, I've said this a million times. Most people won't take my advice, but if a couple of you out there take this advice, you're going to thank me later because it's definitely a faster way to get to your goal and build a great business, and it doesn't exclude you from opportunities. Every single opportunity you're turning down, we're in the home improvement, we're in the service industry, there's another opportunity around the corner. All right, everything needs to be painted, it needs to be painted again and again and again and again. If you're gonna have the discipline to say no later, don't worry, there's more opportunities to the people who build their business the right way and have the team to actually capitalize on all of them and the time to build the systems to capitalize on all of them. So that's all I got for you today. Hope you liked the video. Hey, what's up? It's Eric with Painting Business Pro. I hope you enjoyed the video, but I want to give you a quick little message because the truth is, if you really want to build a great company, there are no shortcuts. You're not going to learn how to build a great company by watching clips on YouTube or clips on Facebook or even attending webinars or listening to podcasts or reading endless business books. The truth about building a really great company is that it takes a lot of time, and it's really important that you invest in your development and education of yourself as a business owner and as a leader. It takes a lot of time to build the necessary systems to building a great company. It takes a long time to build yourself as a great leader who can build a great culture and recruit and train the right people. And that's just the reality of building a business. There are no shortcuts. And the way that I help people build a great company is in my Painting Business Pro training program, where we do go really deep on all of those things that you need to master to build a truly great company. So if that's what you're really interested in doing, you can learn more about the Painting Business Pro training program by clicking the link below this video, and you can check it out there.